live. Do you want me to?
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome to the AI Amigos show. My name is James. I'm here with Jin Chao. Hey Jin Chao.
How's it going? Hi,
Welcome
everyone.
to our day show. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about, Jin Chao. There's a lot of stuff going on, really, man. Really intense stuff going on about AI, which
Nothing more intense than what we talked about earlier about our LinkedIn professional shots.
and the use of AI. We're having a little too much fun with that, Jin Chao. But
Yeah. I mean, if anybody linked me on the LinkedIn, go have a look at my one. I think it's pretty good.
I'll need to update mine too, Jin Chao. I want to make it look as good as yours. But yeah. So 3 weeks ago, Anthropic released and launched the most powerful AI ever deployed commercially.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 days later, the U.S. government pulled the plug. We talked about this, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I had all these plans and everything I wanted to do. I was away on holiday, and then they just pulled it. So really, we're going to talk a bit about that because it's really not a normal news week. And every story that we're going to discuss today connects a single underlying question. Has AI crossed the line from industry technology into national security infrastructure? And if it has, who controls it then?
Yeah, and I was thinking about I remember watching the All In podcast, right? They were talking about maybe they add on some kind of restriction. You have to be a U.S. citizen or whatever to use all those kind of stuff. Even you're in Ireland, probably you won't be able to have access to all those kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean that's it. So let's talk about the first headline story, the Mythos story, which we talked about. So it was Mythos and Fable 5, which I didn't get Mythos. I got Fable 5 on the 9th of June, and then on June the 12th of June, the U.S. Commerce issued an export control directive shutting it down for everyone. And 11 days later, it's still offline. And remember, they were going to give us up to the 22nd of June to use it, and it's it's all gone. And so the U.S. government basically took it off. They suspended all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 by any foreign national, whether inside or outside the U.S., including Anthropic employees, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And the thing is now we're beginning to hear now that the reason why is that on the 11th of June, the NSA and Cyber Command Chief General Joshua Rudd told the Senator Mark Warner that Anthropic's Mythos model broke into almost all of the classified system, not in weeks, but in hours.
This is the question I will raise. Is that from outside to breaking or inside to breaking? Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean, like inside the U.S. or outside the U.S.? Is that what you mean?
No. If they are using Mythos inside their system, they might break into classified a lot easier. Somebody have password as password 1, password 2. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But to break from outside in, that's incredible. But probably I don't know. There's 2 angles to this story to read it, right? But I think from those new models, even the Chinese ones, we're seeing the difference about the agentic work, the reasoning inside, the step by step itself is kind of more like agentic workflow now. Within the just a single prompt, you can say breaking down the task and doing stuff more and more. It's a lot better than before. I'm thinking about when it came out that time, it says, thinking, but that's just thinking and breakdown.
The work that was there wasn't really thinking.
No, but now it's like step. Okay, let me go to the next step. Okay, this and this and this and this. You don't even need it to giving that much prompt. It can actually start going through the breaking down process and then each of the steps and work on them. That's the difference at the moment, I think.
Well, remember they did that glass wing they released, and they gave everyone, because they said we're going to give it to you beforehand. So because they got these 0-day, problems they were finding, and I would think this is where you go and look at, even the U.S. government, or all governments, you would have thought they would have gone and just protected all of the stuff, and they give them an advanced copy, if you will, to use it, to go and prepare, and it looks like they weren't prepared, right?
Yeah. No, they're definitely not. I mean, all the security normally in IT company is heavily on the front door, right? But once you're in the door, it's pretty much easy to get into any other system. Yeah, it's just what they put the money and resource at. So that's the thing. Once we start using the kind of LLM, and even as the products, and because they live inside your system, if they do prompt injection or any other kind of hacking and go to it might be able to go into your system.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's what it is. If you're running on the server exposed to it, or if you're just using prompt itself, that's fine. But if your agent, it has different tools connect to it, or other environment it can access to grab the whatever information. That means if they're going through it and hack the LLM, they can get those informations as well. Yeah.
It's quite scary. I mean, and the thing is, and as I know we had talked about it before, and they said it was because, remember, they said it was a jailbreak, and that Amazon reported it, and this is why. And now we're coming to find out that wasn't why, it was something else. But
Yeah,
but
because a lot of those application, right, to give user that wow factor, there's a lot of system connected to it and get data from, right? You can't really build a simple wrapper anymore. Right? Who's gonna use wrapper? I can do it myself. So that's the thing. The more and more tools connect to it, and more system that LLM can access to, and it's easy to make mistakes somewhere. That would be, you normally heavy guarded the front door, it has a side door on the beside. Nobody noticed, and then just try it. Okay, I can walk in right away. So that's quite worrying.
Well, I mean, what happens if, let's say, in a couple of weeks that, DeepSeek has something, or Minimax, the U.S. government's not going to be able to go and shut them down like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure they go talk to the Chinese government, but I don't see them being able to do that kind of that again. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
I think they need to get their stuff together.
Yeah, it only take the people who knows it a couple more. Let's say if I run a LLM on say on the EC2, okay, which connect to the API somewhere. Okay, I can ask if the LLM has kind of execution like a sandbox environment. It can run a script. I can ask, okay, run some cloud command and see what's my security group looks like, what's my input ingestion, outgoing traffic like, or add my IP into it. Next thing you know, I can go in. And what's the SSH key, public key looks like. Put it back to
You're
me.
in.
Yeah. And once you're in that, yeah, you can hide yourself. Like I remember in college, the first thing when we're hacking the router group is trying to hide your IP and try to hide your IP, and then you can change your MAC address to match one of the router. So when they search it, it's a router.
Yeah.
It's all MAC address masking and all that sort of stuff. So once you're in, it's scary.
It is scary. Well, it'll be interesting how this all plays out. The next story we have there is NOAM SHAZEER leaves Google for OpenAI, and saying here that it's the most significant individual talent move in the AI industry since Andrew Kaparti joined Anthropic. So this guy was the architect of the transformer. That was the foundational paper that made GPT, Gemini, Claude, and literally every major AI model possible. And he just left Google for OpenAI. So he wrote the paper in 2017 in regards to the transformer, which is in the GPT, the T for transformer. And he left Google, and basically, I think he was paid approximately 2.7 billion. Or should I say, he left Google in 2021 to co-found Character AI. Google paid him approximately 2.7 billion. Imagine if one person got paid 2.7 billion to bring him back from Character AI, and then less than 2 years, he's now gone and left Google again. So that's interesting, right?
It's like you're going uphill, right? With a bicycle, you're zigzagging. Zigzagging. Two sides are the companies. Now I'll go to OpenAI. Next thing, okay, go back to Google. Who pays me more?
But well, I wonder if OpenAI is going to pay him that. I mean, 2.7 billion. That's a lot of money, man, for a single person. I don't think even CEOs making those kinds of money.
Yeah, I think OpenAI. I don't know. Maybe have more ways to make money from the court cases we've seen before.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, that leads us to the next thing. There is looking at ChatGPT, OpenAI. Their market share falls below 50%, first time ever, which is interesting because they're now below 50%. They're at 46.4, down from just under 53 in December. And basically, Gemini is still at 27.7%. Is what I'm seeing the numbers here. And Claude is at 10.3. So it's dropping less and less and less. And I think there's more and more competitors coming out. Like we've talked about Minimax the other day, and we talked about DeepSeek today. There's a lot of good competitors out there.
For just residential users, right? Like not business. Why not use for Chinese model? They're way cheaper. Business is like, let's go for the cloud. The OpenAI data structure and the data privacy stuff is a bit blur. Even they said it, but would you really trust it? So.
Well, I think a lot of people think, ChatGPT is just what it started with was just like a chat, and they've not seen how it's forward. And I know personally, I'm using it, Codex, and Codex is quite good. It is quite good. And I've subscribed to more than one. And the main reason I do that, it's not that I have a lot of money, Jincha, before you're thinking that, because I know that's what you're thinking. It's just that you use the AI to check each other, and you can do, we can do like a cheat model, like you said, to write the majority of the stuff, like let's say we use a Minimax, write a bunch of, and then basically go and ask Codex to then go and check the code and verify that that all security and processes, and can we write less and blah blah blah, and it goes and does all of that, and it comes back and says these are 10 recommendations or 5 recommendations, and it will always say that it's not ship ready, it's not ready to ship. I've never seen a time it goes it's ready to ship. There's nothing I can do to the code, and it goes and makes some changes, and I guess it's just trying to justify itself.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, is that like the system prong is different, and then we have to have an AI console to validate each other? I mean, it's gonna be costly if you really wanted to do it that way.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, unless you get something like which would still be costly, like an AWS Bedrock, where you can have multiple, or like, well, I mean, forget Bedrock. Go to something like, I know the one that you were using. What's it called? A Cursor, where you can use various different models, and then you can have them checked that way. You have one subscription, and they have different models. And
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, that's how I feel. If I wanted to ask a question or that, right, and about some things, Western models like Gemini, OpenAI, they are heavily guardrailed. Anything touch with health, and with that, it just disclaimer straight away. I'm not a doctor. I'm not willing to give you any advice. But generally speaking, on DeepSeek part or any Chinese model, they're all open. They do tell you what's the best, and then tell you should go have a look and chat with the doctor. Other than the Western model kind of just cut you out. I'm not willing to give you any suggestions that much, to be honest.
And again, I guess there's a lot of fear of being sued. I guess I don't know, or you know, oh, I ChatGPT said or Claude said this, and I used it, and this happened, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I think the suing culture is not in China. It's not like, oh, because the computer says so. Like, duh, did you check with doctor?
Well, there was a paper, someone was talking about it on funny enough, you're talking about that I heard today on TikTok, and that there's this models that are used specifically for doctors, apparently in hospitals, and they rolled them out, and they've sold them in the US and whatever, and so doctors are supposed to use it, but nobody ever actually independently tested them. And so someone went and asked, like, found questions that patients had asked, and then they went and they ran them through different models. The hospitals one, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini's. And the ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini outperformed the local models, if you will, which was interesting because it was like, oh, we have this local model just for medicine industry. It's trained on this data and just on medical data, and blah, 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 and doctors then consult with it. And apparently ChatGPT did better, which was interesting. You know, probably maybe because it's a more powerful model. I don't know.
Maybe it's what we call it, call it in machine learning, all that overfitting. You have too many doctor, kind of the vision is tunneled.
It was basically trained on the data you gave it. Yeah, it wasn't. The corpus wasn't large enough, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know either. But like the other thing I was thinking about, maybe I was thinking about the other angle of your story. I didn't know it didn't perform really well, but maybe it's because they wanted to produce that kind of professional ones so they can charge more. They don't want everyone using, because basically if you pay for some professional one, you just pay for the credibility, and also maybe they have better insurance that you can claim them for, right?
Or well, that's it, right? Yeah, exactly. So they've got to have some kind of insurance to protect them if something goes wrong, you know. Well,
I think like the huge like a parameter of those models, how different can they be just to change? You know, I don't know. I feel like right now all the models is all on the model itself doesn't change that much. It's a clever engineering to do around it, kind of make it smarter and smarter, right?
Yeah, the implementation and the adoption of it as well. I see it as well. Like I see more and more. It's funny because, you know, every time I see stuff come out, new stuff, I'll ask, because I have instance like on Claude, and say, you know, what about this and what about that? And it would just say, it's starting to say to me more, that's great. You've already done a lot of this work. What you need is more adoption.
And also like I think to now from the GPT come out, like we've been checking all those models, following up and all that. We're kind of on the frontier of using it, to be honest. Even we don't have that much different access, or Gemini or Claude never give us any early access. I guess our channel is not that big yet.
We're getting there, Jin Chao.
Yeah. And but like you can see it, like there's a term I was looking into this week. It's called reverse learning, and we talk about this as well.
Yes, yeah.
And our learning process and it's kind of reversed now. Like for example, I want to learn something now. I want to learn any architecture or AWS scenario or whatever. I have something in hand. What problem I wanted to solve. And then I ask the AI, how can you solve it? Giving my parameters, or it can be public, or I have to use their service, blah, blah, blah.
Give
me a couple of those. They're never one shot. You can get a correct one, but you get the kind of blueprint and then you start learning of it. Why do you use this? Okay, but I have this. I can't use this. What else can I use? And then you dig into it. Oh, I don't understand this service. Explain to me a bit more. So you definitely learn from the solution, slowly backward, acquire the knowledge. So you could have one specific area of knowledge compared to before. If I needed to have AWS solution, let me check all the services available to me. I study them all, which one applies to that. So that's what I mean. Kind of our learning process is a lot faster, a lot speared into one direction now. And we're just gonna be what you call this animal, hedgehogs.
That wasn't what I was thinking, but okay.
A lot of small area of expertise. So many of them feel learn.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I feel. Like before, like your well-rounded knowledge on something, you can always talk about certain area. But now it's like certain area, there's a spot you can talk about really, really deeply because you asked the question, you learned about it, and then when the time accumulates, you're gonna be a hedgehog, right?
Well, I mean, one thing you're saying to me there, Jinchana, just thinking about that is like, a lot of people go and get the AI to do stuff for it, right? Like, let's say vibe coders, which we know that that's going on now because agents are starting to do a bunch of different things, so you don't have to. But the thing is going back to, it's like, okay, well, agents did all of this for me. Does people actually take the time and say, well, why did you use this approach, or why did you use that approach? Do you see what I'm saying? Maybe they just say, just make it work. I don't care, make it work. And
yeah, but that's a trap. If you're professional IT, you're working on some important stuff, you can't do that, right? Like the LLM and all that system already help us to learn so much quicker and turnaround time so much quicker than before.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick up those little knowledge you needed to otherwise. How are you gonna fix it later on when you add it on?
Or when something goes wrong, you're like, I don't know what happened. I don't know why.
Yeah, there's more and more stuff adding on. It's just you probably don't need a lot of knowledge, but at the beginning you need the kind of asking why. The kind of always ask why, and then common sense and more.
Or as well as like, like it's just like software developer, like and like I do my stuff in data science, and one of the things is like when it does something, you say, well, what like I was telling you yesterday, I was working on some stuff. I was doing some stuff in data science, and I was doing some clustering analysis, right? And it says, when it went there, it did number of clusters 2, and then it did some PCA, number of components 2, and I said. And then it showed me all the features, and I was like, "Why did you choose that?"
Mm-hmm.
Like there you have like the elbow method, where you go and you figure out where the inertia drops, and it said, "Oh," it says to me, "You're right. I was just doing it very lazy." And I said to it, "Don't be lazy." Of course, like all the work that it created would have taken me days to create if that, but it created it for me in minutes, hours, but it was going back and then challenging it and saying, well, what about that? And did you look at this? Did you consider that? So then it went, and then it started saying, you're right, because I was trying to ask it to say, I want you to cluster in certain areas, and it was just using the same features, but it was like, no, you don't need to do that. You need to, and then it created a report for me that I wanted to show to stakeholders. They use a lot of technical language, and I'm like, no, this needs to be broken down very simple. I understand it, but doesn't mean everyone understands it. So, yeah, the AI definitely needs working with AI is definitely a skill. But once you have it, like I don't ever see how you could ever go back. I don't see how I can ever go back.
No, I can't. I don't think I can go back. But there's just sometimes the little issue is really frustrating, right? For example, today I was trying to change some front end design on some application and remove those stupid ChatGPT icons, and to more the models tend to do that with you can spot it straight away, miles away. Oh, a LLM wrote that. I know
Yeah.
that. Do you know what I mean? Remove them, and then it's only front end change, and great. My agents are running tests, and there's a 6 failed tests, and tell me which file, and I didn't look, and I clicked. Right, this is tell you it's very important to look. It tell me, okay, I'm gonna get stash, and clicked it. And I said, and I reverted the change. I said, wait a second, why are you reverting it? Oh, he said there's a 6 field. I said, that's the database test. I haven't spinned up the database. Have you checked that? You know?
All right.
That's why it failed. I said, okay, let's go back to the step. Unstash the changes, get the change back, and working on that. So there's a small things. It's just, I feel like if you're not pay attention, it just
Yeah, and it can be and it's those little things. It's always
Yeah.
those little things that get you. You know what I mean? Like you like
Yeah.
hold on a second, that's not right. And yeah, I mean, you know, and that's where our expertise and you know, I guess you can, you know, it's always compared to like a junior developer versus a senior developer, where you know a junior developer may not see everything, where senior developers like, well, I'm senior because I've experienced these things, and you don't consider what's downstream. Oh well, this is going to happen. There's security issues. There's this. There's you know, and
Yeah,
when a developer doesn't know.
That kind of raise question we're using this day in day out, like the cloud code, right? And we see those things. We still have to look into those process they did. And then just imagine people are like a business claimed, okay, we can use AI agent replace a lot of those people. I don't know. They must have a lot of token to burn to sort it out problems. I don't see that happening, to be honest. You know?
Yeah, I don't see it either, Jinchao. I mean, I think it's
Imagine if you are like just using one, sometime it pop out approve this. You have to read through quickly, you know, what's going on. I imagine this person in charge of 5 or 6 chats and going on simultaneously. You're gonna be exhausted.
Yeah, you're orchestrating that. Feels like I do feel a bit of that as well, like where you get it's too much going on, and you kind of like I'm losing track of what's there's just too much going on, and did I do this? Did I do that? You're definitely more of an orchestrator, and it does get, you know, there's a lot of cognitive load in that because as well, like it can mess things up, and your mind is just like, you know, and you get into something that's like, oh, hold on, what was I doing on this one? You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
it's definitely difficult. I mean, like once you go into production or something like that, it's totally different parameter you're working with. I mean, like it's up and down if your business losing money or not. You know, it's not the created LinkedIn profile doesn't look like you or not. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, go look at Jinchao's. Go look at his LinkedIn profile. You can give him a like and a spin.
All right.
All right. Well, that comes to our end of our show. Oh, geez, Jinchao, we missed it. I can't believe this. Remember, we're sponsored by Tequila AI. We missed at the very beginning. Normally we say it, and missed. We're sponsored by Tequila AI. If you need any AI solutions, you need to talk to these guys. They can help you out. So with that, thank you, Jinchao. Very good conversation. As always, had really good topics. Next week, we'll have some more interesting topics. Never saw this one this week about, you know, Mythos and the NSA. So interesting will happen in just another week. So
have a great weekend. Next week, probably we got hacked. You never know.
You never know. Yeah. All right. See you.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.